podcast, and we're here for When Calls the Hallmarkies, and we're here to talk about When Calls the Heart, the third episode of this season, and it is called Home is Where the Heart Is. And Ruth Hill's here.
Hey, nice to be back again.
And Amber's here.
Howdy, everybody.
And I'm Rachel, and so we're really excited to talk about this episode.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was kind of our only Hallmark thing this week to enjoy, this weekend. So, luckily...
Like a dying man in a desert, we clawed our way to the When Calls the Heart new episode. And
And
an oasis.
What made it better is it was a great episode.
Yes.
Agreed.
Such a good episode. I just kept telling my mom, I love this episode. I kept saying, I love this episode.
What was the mom verdict?
She loved this episode.
Ah,
that's...
I will definitely point out when we discuss little things that the parts that were her favorites, and I will even bring my dad into this one because my dad. It was kind of surprising. My dad watches the show. Sometimes he'll watch it, sometimes he won't. It depends on what he's doing. He actually likes the show, but he does like Hallmark. It's just that sometimes he doesn't want to sit through a whole episode.
Yeah, totally understand. I agree with you guys. I think if you like the show, it doesn't get much better than this episode. I think if you don't like this episode, this is just not the show for you. Right. Because it was pretty good. And so it all starts out with the drama at the bank. And the bank doesn't have the payroll. Oh, my gosh.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. What did you think of that, Amber?
I tweeted this out, and I still believe it. Like, what was Canada doing in novels in the early 19th century? Because... I remember a bank murdered Matthew Cuthbert in Anne of Green Gables. And now what are they trying to do? Kill Henry Gowen? I will not stand for it.
Yeah. I mean, it was sort of, there were feelings of almost Pottersville at a certain point, and It's a Wonderful Life vibes sometimes.
Yes.
Yeah. How are they going to save the bank?
Yeah. Yeah, right.
With Jimmy Stewart with the $1,
Right. Yeah.
Anyway, and so you have also Elizabeth looking for Jack, and it's like Where's Waldo episode with just like there's Mounties everywhere, and they're trying to find Jack, and there he is. He's back. It was pretty exciting, and I must say, Daniel Lissing looked pretty handsome.
Oh yeah. There's no doubt about that. It's nice to see Jack come back. I agree. And speaking of the bank, my dad loved the bank part. That's actually what reeled him in the beginning. It was about money, so that anytime there's anything about money,
my
dad. And that's a sweet spot.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So he was interested in that. That drew him in from the beginning.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, and I think I don't know. There's just something about like he just wanted to get married. He wants to get married so bad. He wants to have babies with Elizabeth so bad. And that's...
Right.
Yeah. So there you go. We also got the arrival of a new person in Hope Valley. We have Sophia.
Yes. Everyone knows if they listen to the podcast that I love Allie Liebert.
Yeah.
And I was furious when she was off Chesapeake Shores.
Oh,
how mad was I, Rachel?
Yeah, you were pretty mad.
Way mad. And so when they showed us the preview of this season and they like flashed Allie Liebert's face on the screen, I was excited. And then I didn't know she was going to be in this week's episode.
No.
So she steps off. I mean, there's somebody getting off of the stage, coach? And I was thinking, is it Julie? And I was like, I don't think that's Julie. It's blonde. And then the camera does this epic sweeping turn, 360 degrees matrix camera, slow motion. Doves were released, and I was like, Allie Liebert! I was so excited.
Yeah.
She couldn't have had a better entrance.
It really did. It was like she was an actual angel or something, because like the camera went from all the way across the street, all the way along, and then it did a whole circle around her until it finally like focused on her face, and it was like you wouldn't think they had like Tom Cruise on the set. I mean,
they basically have Lady Tom Cruise.
Yeah, pretty much. It seems like, wow. I mean, I don't think even Candace Cameron Bure would have gotten that kind of treatment. It was pretty amazing.
Candace Cameron Bure wishes she got the Allie Liebert cam.
Yeah. It was pretty impressive. So, but anyway, so she plays Sophia. Mm-hmm. So she is a friend of Rosemary's.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I kind of, like, at first I thought, is she her sister? Because they look quite a bit alike. I could have seen them being a sister, but they're just friends.
Yeah, and, I mean, their last names aren't even close to being the same.
Right. But I don't know, they just looked, and I thought they talked kind of, so I would have bought that they were siblings. But anyway, and so she's come to visit Rosemary, and they're all eating lunch, and who happens to come in?
Oh, yeah.
But Handsome Pants McGee.
Yeah. Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. Dr. Handsome Pants.
Mr. Carson, Dr. Carson.
And that spark. The spark between those two. When he looked her way, I mean, it was like, okay, this could go somewhere.
I was floored. And so I was just geeked out, having so much fun, having Pascal Hutton and Allie Liebert talking, Rosemary and Sophia being funny and adorable, and I was like, it can't get better than this. Not a chance. And then the next scene, it showed those two ladies plus Kevin Smith, and I was, this is incredible. It'll never get better. And then in walks Paul Green, and he's like, bing, let's be in love. And I was dead. Honestly, I don't even know what they were talking about during that scene, because I was just like, look at their eyes. Look at them looking at each other. I'm sure there was dialogue, but I don't even know what they said.
Yeah. It was just something about like her being an architect or something like that, and not having any places to build. And then, and Rosemary's kind of like resentful a little bit of the fact that this is happening and she can see it happening. And you also have in the same restaurant, you have Faith dining with the other, I think she was with the other lady from the dress store.
Yeah, she was with Dottie.
Dottie, that's her name. So, and she does definitely, it feels like she's kind of jealous of what's going on. But Ruth, you have a different theory on that, right?
Well, I mean, I think we all had some, I thought that the dialogue that we've been having about Faith is kind of interesting. Yeah, I can see how the Hardys, a lot of Hardys might say, oh, she's thinking that Sophia's coming in and stealing her man. Well, first of all, I think that, and I'm sure that my ideas are colored by the interview that I had last night with Paul Green. So I'm sure that
spoiler averse, don't listen.
No, because actually I told him he wanted so desperately to share it. I said, no, do not, because I don't want a spoiler. Because he said, I wish I could tell you how it ends up. Like, no.
Yeah, so you've interviewed the great man himself.
Yes, I did.
Very exciting.
Right. But there's never been a hint of any romance between Faith and Dr. Carson. There hasn't been. She's been busy. I think, in fact, we were having this discussion too. Paul and I were having this discussion. How many men has Faith had?
Yeah.
And there's been at least, I think we said there's been at least 3 that we know of, because she was interested in Jack. That didn't go anywhere, of course, but she was interested in Jack. And then she had the other rich fiance that I don't remember his name, and that's okay because it was broken off. And then we had Niall Mater on there last season.
Yeah.
And so it's like in some ways it would be nice to see Faith maybe not have to jump in and go into another go straight into another romance. But I think that you haven't seen any real romance you haven't seen any romance. There's been a professional relationship. Yeah, she and the doctor are probably friends, which would be a good thing. You would hope that there'd be some kind of friendship, some kind of working relationship. But it very well could be. I think one of you mentioned she could be very protective.
Yeah.
I think so. I don't remember which one of you
that
said
was
it.
Rachel.
That was me.
Okay. Which I thought was a really good theory.
Our channel did a poll. So they're pushing for this to be a thing. They made a poll and they were like, do you like Paul Green and Allie Lieber, or do you think that, so the two options were it's love at first sight or hashtag Team Faith all the way. And according to the poll, 24% said it's Team Faith. I mean, it's love at first sight, and 76% are Team Faith.
Oh.
And I was 24%. I voted. I was 24%.
That's right. I was 24%. I hijacked our podcast Twitter and said, it was love at first sight. They're in love, obviously. I mean, did you not see the scene at the dinner table and their cute picnic? We'll get into that.
Oh my goodness. Oh yeah. Oh, the picnic. Yeah.
Okay. But this is what I want. And I posted about it and I mean it.
Yeah.
Faith and Hickam, you guys.
Yes. I am all for that.
They even have the actors even have the same birthday.
I was going to say that too. Faded. Yeah, exactly. Match made in Hallmark heaven.
Yes.
Match made in Hallmark heaven. Agreed. That is where, Hallmark heaven, where Rachel Boston, the literal angel, lives.
Right. There you go.
Them and the weird grandpa angel. Okay. Talk about these other plot lines though a little bit. So we have Gowen confronting the banker saying, I don't believe you.
Because Gowen knows Gowen's is streetwise. He's the only person in the entire show who is streetwise. Yep. No offense to everyone else in the show.
Yep.
And so he goes to Abigail and is like, Abigail, look, this is no good. Yep. And you got to trust me. And she's like, I don't know if I should trust you because you're, but anyway, so that back and forth. What did you think about that?
Obviously, I was hashtag Team Gowen in every instance. I don't even blame him for stealing the town's money because she just went ahead and lost it anyway. In what universe do you not know to diversify and invest your money in multiple places?
Yeah. It's fair, I don't know. I mean, she's just a cafe owner, though. How can she be expected to know all this?
Well, then she shouldn't be mayor.
Yeah. We all agree. We've agreed on that for a long time. She shouldn't be mayor.
And that's nothing against Abigail. I love Abigail. I'm not putting her down. I mean, and I'm certainly not putting Lori Loughlin down. Lori Loughlin's the reason really one of the main reasons I tuned into the show originally. So it's not, I'm not putting her down, but yeah, I agree that I think it does stretch things a bit much for her to be mayor. It
just makes her character less interesting than when she's cafe owner because, she just can, I just liked her better as sort of this underdog rather than like the leader. But anyway, I did like Gowen in these scenes. He was, it was good. It was fun. It wasn't sort of because sometimes he can be a little bit gimmicky for me as far as the villain or whatever. But I thought that he felt like a real person here.
Yeah, and, I was thinking the same thing. He was really genuine. You felt like for the first time, maybe you could trust what Gowen was saying. I mean, like maybe he knew what he was talking about because he's kind of been there, done that almost. He kind of knows what's going on, and he knows that it's it's not going to end well for the town the rate it's going. He knows.
Yeah.
And they should listen to him.
Yes.
And you may say what you want to say about Gowen, but when he was in charge, the town was never in jeopardy.
This is true.
Well, I mean, there was all this stuff with the coal mine.
Well, yeah,
but that wasn't the town that was in jeopardy.
Right.
When he was in, like, sure people died, but he was acquitted in a court of law, so you cannot blame him of that.
Okay, but it was a tough time for the town, is all I'm saying.
Yes.
Okay, so
how did Rachel? Who was mayor at that time? Dottie Ramsey's husband,
That's
who
right.
I still blame for stealing the money.
$300. That's right. I forgot that. Oh, that's right, because he was running the mine. Okay, yeah. So, all right, we've got all kinds of drama going on at school. They announced that they are going to be making a newsletter.
Okay, yeah.
And they have this machine that is basically like a printer machine kind of thing, and they're going to be making this newsletter, and so they all need to learn how to create fake news. It's kind of the lesson from this, and you have this scene with the one girl getting an A and the boy getting a D, and she's like so like I don't know, like Mean Girls, 15. She's like
so mean.
She's like, it's not that hard. You just gotta study.
No, she was like, you're an idiot. You don't even know anything. You're the worst. I hope you lose your arm in battle.
Well, now, in fairness, though, that girl has softened because if you remember from, I don't remember if it was last season. I think it was last season. She and Cody almost got in a fight. I mean, she was really nasty to him. I don't know
how much softened she's gotten, though. I mean,
also, am I crazy? Isn't she ripped paper girl from last week?
And that was a direct quote I wrote down. It's not that hard. You've just got to study.
Yeah.
And so this poor little boy, he's
right.
It's not good.
But she listened to Miss Thatcher, and she never would before. She was like really belligerent. I'm not defending her, but I was like, okay, she softened just a little bit. I see a little bit of softening. She's always going to be. That's her character. I mean, she's supposed to be.
Well, I don't know. The whole kids thing this week, I was just like shaking my head and like sucking my teeth, being, are you kidding me with this? After Robert got raked across the coals last week for accidentally ripping the paper, and she didn't even apologize to Harper. And she didn't even make Anna apologize to Harper for being so rude. But like literally, Anna, she was like, Anna, we need to be nice. That wasn't very kind to say that to Harper. And then Anna said, sorry, Miss Thatcher. Boom. Case closed.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Well, she's not even the only mean girl in town. Right. So there you have this other girl who starts like snooping around and to try to find a story. Addie. Okay, Addie.
The spy.
Yes, Hattie.
Yeah, and so she overhears these people in the general store talking, and you think they'd have like a little bit of confidence once they magically solved the train station debacle. That they'd have a little more confidence in things, but no, they're very upset. They're very worried because of the payroll delay, and so she's going to write the story. But then Elizabeth's like, "Hold back, on the story." And I
wanted Hattie to go full on like the Post, like you can't censor the media. The public has a right to know. Yeah. Like I wanted that. No, that's not the way it went. But it showed up. Wouldn't it have been so amazing if she was like, this is real journalism. This is what's important to the town.
Well, but then during recess, Jack somehow goes into the schoolhouse and does this very elaborate chalkboard invitation to Elizabeth.
I don't know quite how he pulled that one. But I guess that's because he's Jack. It's the magic of Jack.
Yeah.
Like, if there's one thing Jack can do, it's write on chalkboards quickly and stealthily and light 74 billion candles.
I was going to say that, too.
It's his go-to move.
Yes.
Yeah. So he's invited Elizabeth to dinner, and he's also shown her their land. and he's just so excited about this land.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's pretty cool. And there was a lot of man candy in this episode, which I'm always a fan of, because there was also a scene. You not only got good Gowen, you had Paul Green, and you had a scene in the lumberyard where Leland decides to give Jack the lumber for the house at cost, basically, and Jesse is there. And so there was it was good. There's like typically in Hallmark, the more you can get of the men, the better the movie or show or whatever.
Breaking news. At the very end of the episode, there is, I guess, the potter who's getting his kiln delivered. Remember that guy? Because I do. And I looked him up and I found out, and his name in real life is Clayton Chitty. And in the show, his name is Kevin Townsend. And IMDb says he's going to be in like 5 episodes.
Right. Yeah, he's in. Yeah.
I am so excited because I am in love with him now.
Whoa. I wonder what he's going to do. This is a mysterious Potter.
He's just going to be super dreamy, I bet. Like, what if they do have the pottery scene from Ghost, Rachel?
That would be like my favorite day of my life. Like the closest we've gotten so far is Recipe for Love. They're making bread. That would be very entertaining. Good catch, Amber. Very impressive. You're learning from Hattie.
If there's something I'm going to catch, it's going to be the mysterious, handsome pottery guy.
Yeah, definitely. So we've got more shenanigans going on with this girl. Hattie sees Harper in the schoolhouse at night looking in the teacher's book. It's all very shady. And so she somehow manages to go in and print a newspaper all by herself.
Yes.
This is the morning this is the story you wanted to write. Well, tonight is the night that you can't dun. Newsies. I was doing Newsies. Okay. When they sneak into the printing press.
Yeah.
Just call her.
She does it all by herself, though. I mean, it's pretty impressive.
I mean, she was singing all the parts.
She accuses him of cheating. Cheater.
She doesn't accuse him of cheating.
No, she writes the story.
Dude, that's not accusing someone of cheating. That's straight up libel. Like,
yeah. So, I mean, it was I understand how she could look at those things and see that think it was cheating. It did look like cheating, but obviously she jumped to the conclusions because he wasn't cheating.
Right.
Yeah. So what do you guys think of this? What about you, Ruth? What do you think?
Well, I realize that, there probably are some unreal parts, but remember, we are in Hope Valley. We do have to remember that. And so we don't always have to always logically figure everything out. Yeah. But honestly, I love the story. Mm-hmm. And part of it was that the girl who plays Hattie, I absolutely adore her. I've kind of been watching her career and all the things that she's been in and she's an amazing actress. And I don't mean just in this show. I'm talking about she's won some awards. I got to see her win an award, and that was really cool. I was really excited for her. But I was glad to see her get this particular story. I thought it was really neat to have that. Yeah. And I actually, and even though there might have been some things that were unexplained, I did like the fact that it was that it was timely in light of the way journalism is nowadays.
Yeah, total fake news right. all over the place.
Right. It was nice because I'm one of those people that works, and I think you guys are too, that you work really hard and you want to make sure before you post anything that you're right. And like, if you find out later that you're not right, then you're going to post it. You're going to like immediately take care of it because you want anything that you're posting, even just, you want to be right. You don't want to be posting stuff. because I have sometimes posted fake news myself, and I feel absolutely horrible when I find out that it's it's like no matter how careful I am,
our Christmas preview was full of fake news, but that wasn't our fault.
I mean, and we checked the appropriate sources. It's not our fault Hallmark Channel changes plots.
I understand. I do understand.
The little boy Harper did a very good job. And,
yes, and he's another good little actor. Yes.
Yeah, he was really cute, and so it all worked, and because it was all like we teasing about it being her making that newspaper in one day, but like as far as her believing that he was cheating and him, that part of it, that's completely understandable that she would see those things and come to that conclusion, and she was trying to do a good job and trying to embrace the spirit of the assignment, and so I that part of it you could definitely relate to that part of it for sure. And
I also still want to say she got off easier than Robert did.
I agree.
Well, she has to read the retraction up in front of the whole class, and then apologize. But I guess she didn't have to do it multiple times, like poor Robert.
I'm so mad about it. If they have another episode where another girl gets off scot-free and another boy gets punished really harshly, I am going to be real mad at Miss Thatcher. A little bit real mad at her now. But if I see a pattern, I'm gonna be posting Twitter in all caps, you guys.
Yeah. So Jack and Elizabeth have this dinner, and you're totally right, Amber. It was like Bed Bath & Beyond in there with candles. Like,
Wait, okay, has Jack seen Tangled? And all he wants is just to like recreate the lantern scene, but he can't get them suspended properly, so he just lays them on the ground like they're in the water. Candles cost a lot of money. Now it cost a lot of money then. I know I'm supposed to suspend belief, but I can't. It's too many candles.
Pickle jars. Everybody has pickles or pears or something, and they've all been donating it to Jack. That's what my mom always says. Candles. It's okay. It's pickle jars again.
The jars aren't the problem. The jars are fine. Okay. If he had a billion jars,
no preserved goods, I guess, in Hope Valley.
I know.
The thing is the actual candles.
That's true.
Candles run out.
No. Well, now, if maybe, this is what it is. Remember, Rosemary and Lee have electric Christmas lights. So maybe Rosemary was able to find some electric
No.
Battery powered lights. I love it.
I mean, actually, who knows what happened with candle technology in a world where World War I didn't happen.
Anyway, but it's really fun. They decide that they're going to get this wagon car to moving when it comes to their wedding. And they are getting married in 2 weeks.
Right.
And I was so surprised that they're like, well, are we ready to announce this? And it's like, what?
I know.
That's a question. Like, this is the most drawn out thing I've ever seen in my life.
And all of a sudden it's like, let's jump into high gear. Because I'm thinking, 2 weeks?
Also, like, no offense to them. How difficult would it be to plan a prairie wedding? It's get a preacher, find a dress.
Yeah, seriously.
Rosemary's there.
Yeah.
So they don't even have to do anything.
Yeah, I know, but Rosemary's got only 2 weeks. Rosemary, we're not talking, as far as I'm concerned, it's Elizabeth and Jack's wedding, but we know Rosemary's in charge of it all.
Yeah. And like Abigail was like, we're fine. We'll take care. Sure.
Yeah, right.
Wouldn't you have loved it if they were like, so we've decided we're officially getting married, and everyone in the town was just like, well, yeah.
That's kind of what I was thinking too. I'm like, how is that? They're like, should we announce this? Are people going to be shocked? It's like, Is there anything less shocking in the world? Like, what is wrong with you people? Oh my gosh.
We've only been trying to get married for 5 years.
Yeah, I mean, if the show was even a little bit realistic, there would be like huge scandal by this point. They'd be like, you not only should get married, you have to get married, and I'm like Elizabeth's father would have a gun in his back practically.
Okay, Rachel, I can't even tell you how uncharitable I was watching this. Because we go from them in the candlelight scene to Jacqueline coming from this inside of her house to have breakfast.
Yeah,
I was like, what?
I know.
And then they were like, oh, should we tell everyone? Are you ready to tell people? And I was like, is Elizabeth pregnant?
Not on When Calls the Heart.
I know.
No.
I was like, what is going on?
This is When Calls the Heart. This is Hallmark. That doesn't happen.
I know.
Okay?
I know it doesn't happen, but I was like, are they doing this?
Okay.
And then they were like, oh, announce that we're getting married. And then I was like, well, yeah, of course you have to get married in 2 weeks because, I mean, you're just in our house.
Yeah, like in real life, it'd be like the wedding and 7 brides for 7 brothers. And with like dads with all their guns.
Not even in real life, like on any other show. Pretty sure if they had made this movie in like 1920 and it was like a silent film, they'd be getting married.
Yeah,
they'd be like forced to be getting married.
Even in Little House on the Prairie, Laura and Almanzo didn't wait that long, and Laura was a little bit young to get married.
Yeah,
you guys.
No. So that's just we don't care. We're just teasing about this, but it was very romantic and very nice. But it was just like the idea that this was like somehow like, ooh, should we? I don't know. It was so funny to me.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, they do announce 2 weeks, and Rosemary's like, oh my gosh. Yeah. But Abigail kind of reins her in. Yeah. And then we do get. Did they have bachelor parties back then?
I don't know. I have no idea.
In a world where World War I didn't happen, it is very possible that they had stag nights.
I don't think they called them stag nights, though.
So yeah, it's very possible that the World War kind of ruined everyone's spirit and got rid of bachelor nights. I don't know, but Bill and all of them are very excited about this to have bachelor night.
Did we skip over the part where there was a foreshadowing that Jack might be suffering from PTSD later on?
Well, yeah, but I mean, I don't even know if he's necessarily suffering from PTSD. Well, I mean, because there's like clinical requirements or things, but anytime you're in such a violent situation, that will change you and at least leave you damaged. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I don't know if I can't diagnose him, but
I don't even remember that. I guess I was so caught up in everything else. When was that?
There's a conversation, isn't it, was it Jack? Or I mean, not Jack, wasn't it Bill that he was talking with?
Yeah, he and Bill were talking, and it was actually less of what Jack was saying and kind of more just his attitude and his face. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And it was really, he did a really good job. It was very, wow, I feel like, it went down so deep and so serious so soon. But it was, he did a very good job. Yeah. And I really felt for him. I mean, I was like, poor little guy. I mean, it really is a horrible thing. And
right.
I mean, luckily he was spared from World War I, so he didn't have to endure those horrors. But, if this was their World War I, it would still be bad.
Right. I'm probably horrible for saying this. I'm hoping that they do actually show that he's struggling with some of those things, like maybe either flashbacks or something like that. Yeah. Because right now he doesn't want to talk about it. It's like Bill wants to ask about it, and he's just like, he doesn't want to even think about it.
Yeah, that would be nice just to get some character moments that
I think so. I thought so.
Dig a little deeper.
Yeah.
I also liked the moment with the music box. I thought that was very sweet.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Very, very sweet.
Yeah.
With him and Elizabeth and him saying that he listens to this music.
Right.
And we also do get a picnic in the rain. You gotta love that between Sophia and Carson.
You guys, that whole thing, I was just like, screen capture. Screen capture.
Right.
It's just getting better and better and better and better.
Right. That scene, because the first time I saw it was on Home and Family.
Mm-hmm.
And I was glued to it, and I was just like melting through that whole scene, because I was like, this is so incredibly romantic. and also Paul Green said that, with Carson saying the eyes are the window to the soul. Okay. That actually, he said, now you might think that that's cliche, but actually that phrase wasn't even around yet.
Mm-hmm.
He evidently, it sounded like he'd done a little bit of research or something, or they had some discussions about it. So they decide. So at Home and Family, they decided that Carson invented that, and that he should be getting residuals for that.
Well, I mean, Paul Green does have great eyes, so that's fine with me.
Yeah, right. But
so they're gonna have this big,
wonderful.
Yeah, it was really good.
Oh.
Very romantic.
Excellent use of the lake, pond, whatever body of water that really is.
Right. And I loved the fact that Faith was saying something about, wasn't she mentioning that it was supposed to rain or something like that?
I think Dottie said that.
Oh, it's Dottie. I couldn't remember who said it. Okay. I think you're probably right. But I thought it was funny because that actually seems like that brought them closer together. The rain is like, they had to get out of the rain, but then they've got this nice covering that they're having to share from the rain. And so
it was just cool because like last week was a low story week. Like there's all these stories that were dropped. This week, so many, because there was even there was a conversation between Jesse and Jack too.
Yes.
Where they talk about, they're going on a break and him staying strong and whatever.
Yeah.
And so that was good. And Lee is still just continually worried about the payroll.
Yeah.
And so.
Yeah, that was one scene. My dad got upset at Lee and thought it was Lee's fault. And
about the payroll.
Now, wait a minute. You understand that it was the bank, because the bank didn't, but my dad was actually thought that Lee should have been able to figure out something better to do. He should have
had some stores.
Something like that.
Because Lee still has, he may have lost all of his like liquid money, right?
Yeah.
That anything that he put into the bank, including the payroll.
Right.
But he still has all of the, the raw materials, the rights to do the lumber, all of the equipment. If the bank fails and he has any mortgage or anything on that, unless it gets bought out by another institution, he'll probably just own his bank. I don't see a reason why the lumber mill should close because the bank closed since they still have all that stuff.
But I feel like there's going to be something coming up with him, like, I just feel like them having the scene with him giving the lumber to Jack at cost. I feel like there's going to be something about that with him, like being too generous or something that's going to come out to bite him in the butt.
That's, I had the same thought because I thought, wait a minute, Lee, you couldn't make payroll. And yet now you're giving this to Jack at cost.
Well, it's not technically that he couldn't make payroll.
Well,
it's that the bank wasn't releasing the funds. He technically has the funds in the bank.
Right. That is true. You're right.
Yeah, but this is not like FDIC insured bank. So,
yeah, I know.
So it's gone. So anyway, the bank is trying to get a loan to tie them over. And it seemed like this bank guy was somebody that they had known and they were all familiar with, and he was all like, me, trust me, kind of a thing.
Oh, yeah.
Have we seen him before and I just forgot?
No.
Okay, good. That makes me even more suspect of him. But I wasn't sure because the way he kept saying,
Rachel, they retconned that we know him. Just accept it.
Sounds good. So at the end of the episode, there's basically like a run on the bank. Like I said, it's like It's a Wonderful Life all over again.
Yeah, I had the same thought. Yep.
With the run on the bank, and so yeah, that's pretty exciting. Lots of stuff going up. So do you think, Ruth? Do you think that this means we have 2 episodes until the wedding? Because it's 2 weeks, or or it could be longer.
I think so. Based on some information that I kind of think I might have a little bit of inside knowledge that says it probably is going to be 2 weeks.
So in the next couple of weeks we're going to figure out.
I could be wrong though. I could be wrong.
Next couple weeks, we're going to figure out what happens with, of course, the wedding and also this run on the bank. And I'm sure there'll be more drama at school for Elizabeth to deal with these kids. And so, that's basically the episode. Is there anything I missed? Oh, and then we'll hear more about Sophia and Carson.
We better. We'd better. I mean, yeah.
So, this definitely, this is one of the best episodes I can think of since, I don't know, the Rosemary Lee proposal episode is probably my favorite ever. But this one was really good. It was very solid.
It
was really solid. And it's because all of their characters made sense. Nobody was stupid for no reason.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah.
Well, it wasn't boring. Like, it kept clipping along and things are happening and stuff. Let's see. I hope everybody enjoyed our podcast this week, where we went over some of our picked 4 favorites to talk about, and hope you had fun with that. And then this weekend on Hallmark, we have When Calls the Heart, we have Meet the Pete's, and we have Love Once and Always.
Yes.
And Saturday, a new movie, so we're very excited about that. And then we also have a fixer-upper history on the Hallmark movie. So they abandoned us this last weekend.
Yeah.
And now they're back in full force. So this is very
right. Right.
You must be very excited, Ruth, because you love those fixer-uppers.
Oh, actually, I really do love those fixer-uppers.
I know.
I mean, I have not been at this point. I've not been able to interview either Jewel or Colin Ferguson, but I do have an interview posting with John Cassini, who is Jewel's acting coach, and he actually was very much involved in this one, more so than ever before, because not only was he her acting coach, and I mean, and she really and he's not just an acting coach in name, because I've heard from other people I've interviewed who I already knew. He is a very dedicated acting coach. She relies on him greatly because she is a singer first, and she's now becoming more of an actress, and so he's also a producer on it, as well as he is acting in it. So he kind of took on. So I've got an interview with him.
When was that going to post?
That is going to post. It'll be Sunday before the premiere. Okay. It'll be sometime on Sunday. Probably, I'm going to say probably Sunday afternoon.
Oh, great. Well, look out for that, you guys, and we will make sure to repost it as well. And we hope you all enjoyed our interview with Andrea Brooks this last week. It was so much fun to talk with her. So a lot of good stuff going on. Make sure you're following us on the podcast, Hallmarkies Pod, on Instagram and Twitter. We try to post every single day. And Amber, where can people find you?
As always, people can find me. I'm at Amber Brainwaves on Twitter, and that's it.
And Ruth, where can people find you?
Before I say that, because I promised him that I would say this, Hearties, do not forget that Paul Green has an event going on right now that ends actually March 21st. It is the Art for ALS event, and if you search the hashtag Art for ALS, you will find it on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. In fact, there's actually a contest going on right now. It ends on Sunday. That on Instagram, if you go to Art for ALS, if you look that up, there's a sharing contest where you can get 5 5 raffle entries, because the way this particular auction works is most of the prizes that are listed are raffles. Like you spend $10 and you get entered into a giveaway, or not a giveaway,
a raffle,
into the raffle, right? And I will actually be posting an interview with Paul Green, also on Sunday, that will have a lot more information about this.
Yeah.
But it is there. He is raising money for ALS, for research because his father passed away from ALS, and it is a debilitating disease, and there's a lot of research that's being done, and so be sure to check that out. If you just look for art for ALS, you will find it.
Yeah.
Like you do a search for it, it's there, and you can take a look. And again, there'll be an interview coming, so you'll get more information about that. So I want to make sure to say that.
Thank you. I'm glad you mentioned that. That's a really good cause. Some people might know it as Lou Gehrig's disease. It's a really brutal condition and underfunded. So it's a good thing to do, for sure.
But as for where you can find me, my blog is mydevotionalthoughts.net, and then you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at RuthHill74. You can then find me at Facebook, My Devotional Thoughts, and so that's where you can find me.
Great. And you can find me at Smiling LDS Girl on social media and at Rachel's Reviews on iTunes and YouTube. And I should have some pretty fun stuff coming up. We're going to have a podcast with my friend that we're going to talk about, friend Jonathan. We're going to talk about the finale of Star Wars Rebels, which was amazing. And then I'm also going to be doing something on Regal in Time. So there's a lot of really fun stuff coming up over there. So please subscribe and check that out. And thanks, you guys. This was so much fun to talk When Calls the Heart. Yeah. And we'll see you all next week.
Right.
Bye.
Bye.